And that's the thing. When we win in alignment, we win together. If
Yeah,
we're in alignment, when one of us wins, we all win. It's just a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful sensation, right? To know that like we can be happy for each individual success we have in a team, knowing that it's all moving us forward. That it's incredible.
we want the most out of our experience. Getting ourselves prepared and getting the right people involved is the way to manifest or facilitate alignment to a higher purpose, meaning, and mission.
What about that company's mission statement lights you up? Where can you find alignment in that? Because as a leader in that company, you're going to need the alignment and support of the company and the resources to help you. Because as you start to do this next part, which is going to make your team amazing.
After diving into the sacred challenge last week, we realized something really important. Alignment is the key to success. It's one thing to show up as your best self, but how do you align with others to build something truly powerful? This week, Shane Russell and I explore the power of alignment, not just with your personal goals, but with the people and teams around you. We'll break down how alignment shaped our careers, transformed our leadership, and created unstoppable momentum. Stick around. At the end of this episode, Shane has a powerful poem to close us out.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Crack the Code podcast. I'm Clint Baggett, your host, and I'm here with my co-host, Shane Russell. We're glad everybody's back today. Last week, we were talking about the sacred challenge, and this week we wanted to take that a step further because in the sacred challenge, the principle's really about aligning to your highest potential, right? And not worrying about what anyone else's potential is or isn't, if they're getting there faster than you or anything. It's about finding where you can reach your highest potential and creating alignment to that. So today, we really wanted to take that conversation forward and continue to talk about alignment. So not just finding your own alignment, but finding alignment with other individuals. And that's the beauty of the sacred challenge is if we're all aligning to our highest potential, alignment can actually become very easy to find. So we want to talk about how we found alignment in our lives from the first time we met and on through the creation of our companies and our brands, and then bring that all together. And then at the end of this, so hang out for the very end. Shane's got a great poem he's going to close out the podcast with. So that being said, Shane, why don't you kick it off? Tell us some of your thoughts about alignment. What does it mean to you? And maybe lead us into the story of how you and I first found our first alignment many, many years ago.
So, hello, everyone, and glad to be back. Alignment. So, we talked about the sacred challenge and we talked about the call to duty and the importance that we have, kind of the obligation and responsibility to be the best version of self. Now, in while doing that, what we're doing is we're preparing ourselves for those opportunities that we all have, um, to prepare for when it's like a roller coaster ride. There's downtime and there's uptime, and the downtime, is sometimes it's can be painful and maybe boring, and test your patience and requires faith, but it's really could be a blessing, an opportunity to become stronger and heal and grow and learn and get back to the things of the sacred challenge so that you can uh, be ready for when the boat comes into the harbor, when the opportunities present themselves, that you're ready for them.
Yeah,
Clint
let
and
me
I
jump
had
in real quick right there. So, sorry, I hope that my voice came out too strong and startled you, but so yeah, I hear you talking about the ups and downs, and just to make sure that I'm tracking and the audience is following along too, because I think you're making a really powerful point, right? Is that alignment to the goal, the process of staying in that alignment, you're going to experience, ups and downs as you kind of oscillate around that. And, the ups will always feel like you have alignment, but the downs will sometimes make you question if you do, or how, or what's going on. And I hear you saying, like, um, alignment can help us turn those downs into better preparations, right? So sometimes it's about calibrating in and using that time to learn and make, better and more effective steps to keep us in alignment. Am I following?
Yeah, totally. Because you know, might call it divine intervention, luck, but it could be a
Hold on
combination
just
of
a
both.
moment.
We don't know. Some
So just repeat that.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
there was a little bit of break there. So just repeat that last part, or for the audience.
So, I mean, there, there's sometimes it's divine intervention, and some people might call it fate or luck. But there's certain things of timing that come into play, and to be able to be prepared for when the opportunities present themselves. Like, I played football for a long time, and I wasn't the quarterback, but quarterback, for example, if you're on the bench and the starting quarterback goes down, you want to know the plays, and you want to have been practicing as hard as just like you were the starter, so that when your moment comes, you're ready for it, and a
Yeah.
lot of there's a lot of quarterbacks that literally became who they were because the starter went down, and they actually became the better quarterback for the team afterwards. So being ready for those moments when we get that strike of luck, or the divine intervention like picks us up, it's
Yeah.
an important part of it.
There's a saying where they
And
said that luck is when opportunity meets preparedness, right? And I think I hear
yes,
that when you're saying, yeah, right. So that, if you want to get lucky, it's about being ready when the moment comes, and alignment is, seeking alignment's how you stay ready.
exactly. And I think there, excuse me, I think there's some components to this process. You have to have a positive attitude, and you have to have gratitude for the blessings that you do have, and have conviction to keep your head up and keep trying, and stay focused, and be open minded, and have panoramic perspective. And but there's also, there's planning involved. Like, have a dream, have a vision, mindfulness to evolve and optimize, and set goals to make measurable progress, and practice and invest in yourself for when that time comes. Planning and preparation is a huge portion of our journey, and taking, on the down cycle of the roller coaster ride, taking that downtime to sharpen our blade, and prepare, is to be ready for when the upswing comes. But also, and I've experienced oftentimes, the upswing won't even come until I'm ready. Like, oftentimes you won't level up in the video game until you like overcome the things and learn the things that you need to do. Like, Navy SEALs don't go do what they do for us by hanging out on the couch and playing video games all day, and eating, potato chips and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I think that, readiness and preparedness is key. It's why I like to focus as much as I do on the things that I want to develop and the things I want to get better at. And that's kind of the alignment I think that you're talking about, right? And I feel that in what you're saying is, you know, getting clear on that goal, right? And going, okay, I'm moving toward that. And I know what that looks like. I know what that wants, and practicing, getting ready for that place so that when that moment comes, you can move forward, and that's how we accomplish things. That's how we do great things, right? Sure, maybe some people get lucky, get truly lucky, and they just happen to, be in the wrong place at the right time, and something wonderful happens. But I think, a lot of the true champions and people who have made great accomplishments did it through what you're talking about, right? Study and dedication and practice, and being ready when that moment comes, and then when that moment comes, giving it everything you have, right?
Exactly. And in that, there's the body, mind, and spirit factor. like making the investment to to learn and to be objective and have a again a panoramic perspective, and then your body like feeling good is like 9 cents of the battle, like becoming stronger physically and feeling good and having energy, and and then this the spiritual part of it, the just being aligned within ourselves is a critical component to aligning in the human experience and with other teams and with career opportunities and whatever, like to get the most out of our engagements with others on whatever front it is. um, Aligning with them is really only going to happen most optimally if we're aligned within ourselves. So it starts with the individual. But when
Yeah.
you get a team of individuals, each aligned within themselves, like teamed
Yeah.
up, then anything is possible, as we know,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and that kind of brings us, I think getting closer to this point where we got together. You remind me, dude, and I love how you bring this out, the individual and the vision, and because that's kind of the core concept behind Crack the Code to End Division is first find that alignment within yourself. And once you can get truly aligned to your internal passion, and as a leader, you're helping people do the same, not line up to your vision, but to line up to their vision, right? And then once you're both aligned to your vision, you have your maximum potential forward. You find that alignment, it starts to naturally occur between each other, and then your momentum becomes really big. I remember working with the team where we first met. One of the first things I wanted to do was find out why is everyone here? What did they really want? Sure, we all have a job. We all show up to make money. You know what I mean? Like that's just table scraps, right? Or table scraps for most people. I mean, like it's just something we have to have as a job. But who do you really want to be? What was it you really wanted to accomplish? Is it, do you just want to have this job? Is the job interesting because of who it is that you're working for or what you're learning? Or do you feel like it's potential to your next step? I've talked to many people where they want their family to be proud of them. So they want to do all of this job. So we all have motivations to do good things and to do better, but finding out what those are and then opening up the pathways and creating that environment where we can draw toward that. To me, that's what Indivision's about. It's about us all showing up in the best way we can for the best thing for ourselves, and it becomes the best thing for each other every time. Yeah, so what was your thoughts? I mean, did you see that and feel that going on in the team back then?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I always say this, but when we shine on each other, we all grow. And our job is to bear our fruits for the life around us. And when we all have alignment and we share the same vision and we're all capable of bringing our best and for the team, and everybody's also doing that. You and I had both gone through some pretty traumatizing things right before we met. And at at this, when you became the boss of the team, and there was
Yeah.
it was a lot of chaos and anarchy, but all of us aligned. We just happened to be individuals that had and aligned within ourselves. We had been working hard to be the best we can be, and we got teamed up with a group of people that were also the same. And that alignment, you know you as a leader came in and asked, like you created a mission statement, like, hey guys, like, and you got everybody involved, and we there was a collective vision that we created as a mission statement, and we all of a sudden now you have buy-in. Everybody had felt like they
Yeah. Just to dig into that a little bit too, because you said I created it and then we created it, but you know, I wanted us to have something that made us whole, right? Because everybody was struggling. You're right. I had just went through trauma. You'd been going through trauma. I mean, we were the bad news bears. Everything was broken in all of us. And
gosh,
we were at the bottom of the barrel. There was really nowhere to go but up if we were going to go anywhere at all. And so I was like, what ties us? Who do we want to be? And I remember going around and asking everybody, like, what what do you really want this job to be for you? Like, what do what is the purpose? What is your reason for being? And I collected statements from everybody, and then we asked about like the core values of the business, because we needed to have a mission that was aligned with the business goals. So I took the business goals and I took our interpretation of them and our mission, and I combined what everybody said into a mission statement, and then brought that back. And I asked everybody, I go, does this represent who we are? Does everybody feel good with this? And I was really happy. Everybody's like, yeah, that feels like us. And I went and had that thing engraved on a plaque, and I hung it on the wall over near where my desk is, because what I wanted to do is every time I made a decision as a leader, I'd look up at that plaque and go, is what I'm saying and the decisions I'm making as a leader, does it line up to my team's mission and vision? And do we maintain alignment? And I really, you know, that was my contribution as the leader, but it was really the team's contribution to that, right? Like you and everybody else, because it wasn't just me saying this is what we should do. Now it was everybody going, this is what we're fighting for. This is what we're creating. This is what we want to become. And we've all got a little piece of this, right? So it only works if we do it together.
Absolutely. And the synergy from that result, after everybody felt like they had a value or a say in the outcome and who we stood for and what we were going to do. And we all recognized that we each had some unique contribution to bring, and we all became accountable. We all had buy-in. There was ownership, and we believed in each other, and we believed in ourselves, and we taught each other, and we brought out the best in each other. And because of that, I mean, honestly, we had some of the best, extraordinary success given many of the tasks that we were asked to do, like Mission Impossible. Like some of the stuff was just like, that can't be done, but we did it like somehow. And
Yeah.
we had a vision, and we were all pulling in the same direction, and we're kind of an unstoppable force. And it was a beautiful thing for me. But really, everybody, the dozens of people that we worked with, and I know I've mentioned this before, but I took that momentum and like simple principles, leadership principles. And I mean, everybody that worked with us took what we learned together at that moment of alignment and went on to even greener pasture. And then,
Yeah.
I got the opportunity of a lifetime, killed it. I became a leader myself. And again, the same principles.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't know everything, but the people that I had with me, it was really important to make them help them understand that they were equally and maybe more important,
Yeah.
and let's talk it through, and and we did it. And again, like the alignment thing, it really worked out, and it always is. It's something that's going to come and go, up and down, and it's something that we always have to be preparing for when it comes.
Well, and what I love about that too, and I think also I just want to add in, it's amazing how I'm pretty sure everybody from that team either promoted into higher level engineering positions or are currently managers and or directors out there at companies. So everybody in that team found success. So it was a really great thing we had, and continue to be. It was exciting, to be a part of that and see that success. But what you were just saying about the alignment thing, it made me think too, finding that alignment, like it was the power, right? Once we're all pointed in the same direction, even though we all have individual specific different things that we want, we found a way to line up, and we were all pointed in the same direction. We had a shared mission, that when we accomplished together, it moved all of us toward all of our goals, right? Which was beautiful. And eventually we did part and go different ways as we followed the true nature of our own individual alignment, but coming together for that period of time was powerful. And I have to imagine for them to be where they're at now, for you to get where you're at, you continue to look for alignment as you went on. I did, right? And that's, you start to go, wow, if we can get together and if we can have this shared idea, and it really changes things. It's amazing how little of that I found as I moved through different companies that, it was missing, that a lot of companies were divided parts and parts. But I want to bring up one point kind of as an add-on to what you were saying, that what's cool about when you let alignment be really important to you, and you know what you're aligned to, you know what the feeling of your alignment is and how to watch to it. The cool thing is you can start to tell really fast when something's out of alignment because it will feel bad. It will feel like, oh, like, hey, that wasn't right, or that wasn't, that was just something didn't jive about that. And sometimes you have to change the way you think about whatever's happening, and that lets the alignment back, or you realize that that thing really can't align with you. You never know which one it is until you explore it a little bit, but that it is that feeling that lets you understand, like, hey, is this thing part of my alignment, or is this something to tell me that, maybe I need to change my direction, or maybe this thing's not in alignment with me and I should let go of it, or whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at when your car falls out of alignment, or your back or whatever. You have to go to the chiropractor.
Yeah.
And I mean, I, in my experience, believe that sometimes, like, again, maybe it's divine intervention or it's just fate, but oftentimes, just in my life, when things that I things were going really well and things that I was planning on, and like sometimes the rug got pulled out from underneath me, and in a weird way, it was still alignment because I needed it to happen to be able to have that resistance to to grow enough to keep going, to keep ascending and keep leveling up. Another point to your point about us being on a team, and like you believe and invested in me, and we had a clear expectation and vision, and I went and scored a lot of the points for the team, which looked really good for me and helped me succeed. But I also know that my success helped everybody else in the team that helped me succeed, helped them succeed, and it also helped you succeed. We earned our stripe, and that success was symbiotically earned together,
Yeah, and that's the thing. When we win in alignment, we win together. If
Yeah.
we're in alignment, when one of us wins, we all win. You know what I mean? And like, it's just a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful sensation, right? To know that, like, you know, we can be happy for each individual success we have in a team, knowing that it's all moving us forward, right? It's incredible.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
it's a better pathway than the cutthroat dog eat dog, stepping on each other to the top method. Like, there's no need to have to compete. Like, let's use synergy and let's do it together, and we can go farther together as a team. So I mean, back to the sacred challenge. A lot of it has to do with the things that we control and becoming the best version of self that we can. Then the other part of it is when the alignment does occur and you get the right people in your life, whether it's your team at work, or it's just people that encourage you and love you in your life, and are positive influences, and help bring out the best in you.
Yeah,
That's a critical component. And on the contrast, like having toxic people around you that are like, you shouldn't do that, you should go do this, or whatever, think they know what's best for you. Like,
yeah.
getting the right people around you, and people come and go. It's another important part of the timing and stuff of alignment. Um,
Yeah, it just made me think, man. I want to jump in and kind of drop a plug here for our the community, right? You know, there was a period of time where, and I experienced this. I think over the past 20 or 30 years, it didn't feel like having alignment between you and the person you worked side by side with was possible. A lot of times there was a lot of competition. There's a lot of, what I call like the little corporate mafias. They're groups of people that, you can't break the barrier. You're never going to get the promotion. They went to, a fraternity together, whatever the case may be. And they're just not, they don't feel safe enough to let somebody that doesn't share a very similar background, with them in. And it's just fear. But now the wonderful thing that's going on is we don't have to rely on just the person in our physical proximity to find alignment anymore, right? And that's cool because it's what brought, I think, you and I back together. We haven't lived within 1,000 miles of each other in probably years now, but we were still able to come together. But the reason we're putting the Evolving Mindsets community together with the Crack the Code Division program in it and everything is to create a place for alignment, for people to come together and go, hey, it doesn't matter where I'm at in the world or what company I work at or what state I'm in or anything. I want to get to people. I want to get to a group of people who are motivated, who are interested in developing their self, who are interested in sharing, collaborating, and can see that what benefits the individual benefits the collective. And the more we come together and do that, it's powerful. We can solve solutions fast. When you bring, think about the power of a group of leaders having access to a group of creators. So that when a leader needs a creative solution, there are people there that can come up with creative ideas. And then also the power of a group of creators having a group of leaders that when they need help and guidance on business and making the difficult decisions, they can ask and say, hey, leaders, how do we do this? And when you can get those two groups to collaborate like you and I have, I think it's tremendous. It moves things along very fast. And I think that brings us forward. I want to talk about like our next kind of intersection of alignment. A couple of years ago, we during COVID, things were bad again, right? Like we have to break this cycle. We can't when we separate, things get bad and we come back together. So we're gonna have to stick it side by side or something, right? But we the world's going through a pandemic, everything's hard, and I think during that time, you and I really reconnected, which was great because everybody's stuck in home. It's like, hey, let's chat more. And we had I like to say we had so many three-ways back then, it was wild. But like that was kind of the thing. It was the party lines, like going back to the 1990s or something, right? Get a couple people on the phone and start to throw a remote quarantine party, over the phone. But we were together, and that was the time in which the concepts for the Evolving Mindsets community was being born, and you were part of those conversations. And then that's when I remember we were having a conversation, and we came out with like we're talking about you, and we're like you're kind of a little hood, and you're also kind of a little hippie, right? And I think someone called out like it's like you're the hood hippie, and like that name just stuck, right? Like and then boom, there's the hood hippie, which I think the beautiful part about it is knowing knowing you in a professional sense and how you're like down and about it. I think the normal stereotypes of like a hippie, they don't apply. And also kind of like the normal stereotypes that might go with just being hood, like also, don't necessarily apply, but they come together in this beautiful way and like kind of represent you. So, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about that name and how you earned that?
No, I remember when it was brought up, we all laughed because, during that time, I had gone through some just personal, like worst case scenario kind of trauma. Like it was a lot. Then COVID hit, and it was just like, after the greatest success that I've ever achieved in my career, in my life. And, I've been writing poetry since I was a little kid. And when I was in middle school, I was like Chunk in the Goonies. Like I was a fat kid. I had buck teeth. Everybody called me Buck Rogers and Buckwheat. But like a group of kids would like find me on the way home, and they would beat me up like all the time. I got beat
Oh,
up,
no.
man. Yeah. And there'd be a group of them. It was like a gang of haters, like waiting for me to walk home with my trumpet and buck teeth and big old anyway. And but
You
then
get thrown in the trash can like the kid on the Never Ending
yes,
Story.
for sure. But then like I don't know, like I just kept reading and and like puberty hit. I started playing football and I started working out really hard. And then I don't know, it changed. And after just getting beat, like I was the underdog. I was always the underdog, which being underestimated has turned out to be one of the greatest advantages of my life. But so I got used to it. And my mom grew up in the French Quarter, New Orleans in the 60s. And I know she just taught me like treat people the way you want to be treated. And like I was getting beat up and she's like, son, just walk away. I'm like, Mom, I'm getting beat. There's no walking away, And so I played football. I learned how to fight. And, I always have been about peace, love, community, and harmony. Like, I just like, guys, can't we just be friends? But growing up like in Houston and just going out into the city, like mean people sometimes, like I had to like protect people. And, like the whole saying, you'd rather have a a warrior in your garden than a gardener in your war or whatever. And I've
Yeah.
just sadly sometimes I've had to step in like the nemesis,
Yeah.
a righteous agent of justice and retribution to help people out. And it's like David and Goliath, or like when Ice Cube beat up Debo and Friday. I don't know, like I've used the force, and sometimes I've had. So to me, the hood hippie is the guy that's all about love and peace and harmony and inspiring each other and having fun and laughing. But I also rep the hood, the global hood, the best, and the people that want to be the best, and even the lost for sure, like Johnny Cash and Man in Black style, like,
Beautiful.
um,
Yeah.
but I'm not afraid of like, I'm just not afraid, man, because the haters taught me how to like,
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, dude, I love it so much, and I love the idea of like the hood being like Earth, and like in our hood is Mars and the moon, like you know what I mean? Like it's a beautiful perspective, but and I think that's why you and I connect in the ways that we do. Also, is I think early on for me when I was young, I feel like I was pretty traditional, maybe middle class America, if that was a thing. Like, growing up. But, like I had a few challenges. I also had trouble in school. I got pulled out of school. And because of, undiagnosed ADHD back then, I only went through the sixth grade. And then I took on a job working construction. Back then, I don't know why, but like you could get a job at being 15. And so like, like here I am, a 15-year-old kid hanging out with some of the hardest working, 30 and 40-year-old men, digging uh trenches and footings and laying concrete and, all this kind of stuff. And, you know, ending up being homeless and then kind of getting in with a rough crowd. And like you have to learn some street smarts. And so like, I feel like you have to be kind of hood. And I say this with the utmost respect for people who live in really like defined hoods, not trying to, like say like, that, but like there was definitely a point in my life where it was like, look, you're gonna have to do what you have to do to survive.
I mean, but there's also the neighborhood aspect of it, but I feel like a common denominator in how we really are is like Robin Hood. Now, I'm
I
not,
like
I'm
that.
not,
Yeah.
I'm not like, I'm not cool with anybody stealing anything. Like, I don't care if it's from the rich to give it to poor or whatever. Like, what we're trying to do is bring value besides we don't have to take it from anybody. It was within us all, and our value that we all possess, each of us has significant value that other people need. And that bringing like Robin Hood style, bringing our best to the community, to the hood, the global
Yeah.
hood, and, you know, helping give sustenance to other people so that they can grow, and in a way that they can give their sustenance back to all of us who also need it.
Yeah.
We need
Yeah.
each other,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
And there you have it, the global hood hippie, man, right? It's still all about just being real and finding peace and harmony and happiness and
Love. It's about
best
love,
love.
and let's love
Yeah.
each other, and like, you know, it's about the community and like perpetuating prosperity, so important.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's enough to go around.
Yeah. And so, like, and thinking about that, taking that on from there. So, you created the brand, the Hood Hippie. You took and started bringing out your poetry and expressing yourself that way. I, created the brand, the Evolving Mindsets. And, we're really reaching it's funny because we were doing this side by side, and then at the same time we didn't realize we were doing the same thing. Like, I was like, look, I see the world is full of evolving mindsets, people that want more. They want their sovereignty. They're passionate. They're powerful. They don't really care about who's on top. They just don't want to be on bottom anymore. You know what I mean? Like, and they're, they want success that there's no reason they shouldn't have. And so that's kind of was, you know what I was reaching out, what was calling me, and we've gone on for a couple of years, and then, you know, um, through just time and fortunate and alignment, really, I guess it kind of brings it all around through having this alignment, even though we can't always tell that our alignments are how closely aligned they are, but just by having our own internal alignments to our highest potential, right, we have continued to just kind of move back in, in and out as needed, right? As we both had to grow. And here we are again together, and our alignment brought us together to say, hey, let's do a podcast. Let's really start finding a way to share what's happening in our experience and to share this success. And I almost wonder sometimes, I'm like, is this a hidden success? Like I'm like, surely everybody in the world sees this. But the more you go around and the more I've been around, it's like I find, maybe not. And maybe I've just been fortunate enough to be sent to areas where it wasn't prominent, so that I could go in and help that group or team to start to try to, find this kind of alignment. I'm not certain, but maybe this is a great secret knowledge. It shouldn't be secret. Finding alignment, aligning to your highest potential will absolutely put you on a pathway where you will connect and reconnect with other great-minded individuals throughout the course of your life. I mean, what's this? What are we going on? 20 years now, right? Roughly, or something?
Close to, but yeah, maybe
Yeah,
like
yeah.
15. I don't know.
Oh, wait, no, let's make it 5 because we'll be younger, like if we say that. Right?
Uh,
Anybody's not looking at the camera, they might go, oh, these guys are in their 20s. Totally believe that.
Hey, 52 is the new 30, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Right?
But yeah, no, anyway, so the alignment factor and being ready. So when we're teamed up with the right people, like I have the opportunity of a lifetime that I'm entering this week. I'm so excited because um, I feel the alignment with these people and this opportunity as far as my career goes. Something that you know, I just my experience, everything is just it's almost like it was you know, an opportunity created just for me and just for the company that I'm going into, and I'm excited about it. And but I've also needed the downtime to get myself ready to bring my best self, my A game into it. Um, so I truly believe that without making the investment in the downtime, that I probably would not be in the situation that I am going into. Um, you know, something that I'm
Yeah.
really excited about.
Really powerful advice, right? Stay ready. Don't let,
Yeah, like it having a positive attitude and having faith and believing in yourself and like having people like we have been for each other around us to like unconditional love, not trying to take anything. But then there's another thing about this whole alignment and the sacred challenge, like the world, so many people that we have met and was prompting this community as a positive alternative to the news and just I mean, some of the social media platforms just not being used in the most optimal fashion. In the world, we have met and are bringing in, we have connected dots with a lot of other people that are also feeling this same thing, that want more
yeah,
sustenance out of the human experience while their moment, while the window is still open. And joining forces with these other people and developing a community so that everybody in the community is bringing something to the table that's benefiting others in the community. Um, it's an important thing. It's the common denominator that I think almost the majority would honestly understand and or appreciate. Like we want the most out of our experience, and again, getting ourselves prepared and getting the right people involved is the way to manifest or facilitate alignment to a higher purpose, meaning, and mission.
yeah, absolutely, man. And you're right. It makes me think over the past year. I've been, well, not just the past year, but years. I've been doing research and going to where people finding events and stuff where people are really trying to exceed and excel and find what motivates them. And last year, I was at a Tony Robbins event, which was fantastic. By the way, it's really great what he does, but just talking with the conference members around there as they would get to know each other and they would ask what I was doing, the people that would just grab me by the hands, and this what was so interesting to me is that this happened many times, is people would grab my hands, right, and they'd go, the world needs what you're doing, whatever you do, don't stop, like the world needs this, and it was just really powerful. And and it's like I sometimes you can't help but notice interesting behaviors that are kind of pattern. Like, why did people just keep just like, grabbing my hands and just, wanting to hold on for dear life, and still many of those people that I met at that conference, I've still been in communication with and chatting with, and I'm excited to be able to open the doors to the community soon and start letting people in. And it's probably going to be a little crazy in the beginning as we kind of figure out what's going on and what we're doing, but that's the fun of it, because there'll be alignment there. We're not coming together to accomplish a specific result or expectation. We are coming together to accomplish an alignment, right? An alignment that we can all reach our highest potential, and we want to help each other get there. I think it's super powerful, man.
I mean, I love that. You read to me a short paragraph that kind of summarizes the evolving mindset, and I just it really resonated with me. And is that something that you have? Do you know what I'm talking about? That you have
Yeah, I could.
access to?
It's from the copy that I'm writing. Give me a second to pull it up. Go ahead and
Okay,
continue your thought, and I'll pull that up while you're talking.
let me. There's a quote that I just read. What you want is already here in the unified field of pure potential. Everything you need to fulfill your greatest desire is already part of your being, but it can't come out until you align with it. Let go of the obstructions to it and raise your vibration to the level at which it already exists. You know,
Yeah,
like it's there, like low hanging fruit in every direction. All we have to do is believe. There's action required, like preparation and uh, you know, body, mind, spirit. Learn, grow stronger, have good health, and have faith, and then just you know, go get it. It's there to be got.
yeah. No, absolutely, man. I think I love it. I'm getting so excited. So I think I have what it is. So was it the part about welcome to evolving mindsets and creative leadership?
Exactly.
That sounds right. Yeah. So I'll just read what I have here. So in the start here page for people to land on when they come into the community, it says, "Welcome to Evolving Mindsets, a community where creators and leaders come together to collaborate and develop in real time. Our world today is marked by a noticeable gap in leadership and creativity, a gap defined by what is missing. At Evolving Mindsets, we call what fills that gap creative leadership. Why do we call it creative leadership? Because many leaders are struggling today to come up with creations to create true value. And those who can create true value often struggle to lead. This is where the Evolving Mindsets community and the Crack the Code to Envision program come in. Evolving Mindsets provides a platform for leaders and creators to collaborate, while Crack the Code to Envision is a leadership development program designed to bridge the divide between creativity and leadership. So, what does it mean to be a creative leader? It means you're brave enough to follow your passion into the unknown and carve a path for others to follow. It's about becoming what you are meant to be, not what someone else tells you to be. And it's also about supporting others in their journey to do the same.
I love that, man. I have full body goosebumps again, and literally, that's what we're, and that's when we. I mean, that sums up what we've both been doing. Because I'm a creative leader on one hand in a super artistic way outside of the corporate world, but these principles that I'm applying there, I've also applied in my career and my leadership that I still have. And I mean, it's the most effective way, like the Indian tribes, Native American, it was all about the tribe. It's about the community, and everybody should be contributing the best that they can for the whole. And so I love that, man. That's a really powerful summary, and it's good stuff. And
Oh, thanks, man.
that's where the crazy hood hippie poetry thing, because in my own way, showing people that they can overcome and focus on the joy and the and the blessings and the miracle that it is, and to inspire people. We've been attacking the same thing uh, in a different way. There's a lot of overlap there, and but it's a crazy unification, or united we stand and here we are. And it has a lot to do with how we got here. The the conversations from back in COVID till now in that summary.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Well, I know. So we said we're going to try to keep these, to an hour, so we don't burn out the audience. Definitely enjoying the feedback that I am getting from those who are listening and watching, and it's very, very helpful. So if you want, if you feel like you want more in the episodes or less or anything like that, let us know. I think as we're wrapping in here, uh, you know. Shane, I'd love to share something that might be able to help leaders out there when it comes to alignment. So I'd like for you to think of a question that I might be able to answer that could help leaders, right? A tip I could give them, and I'll see if I can riff and come up with something that is powerful to help the leaders out. And then I would love, while I'm doing that, if you could get ready to close this out with one of your poems, that would be fantastic.
Right on. So the ask was, I mean, what can leaders do to get the most out of their team and or get everybody feeling like they're a valued contribution and they have something to bring, to establish vision and get everybody pulling in the optimal direction? Like how do you establish alignment in a team, especially coming in your experience into a broken team? I mean, is that
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Because I've done that a couple times, right? Coming into the team that we were in, definitely we were in a tough situation, and then there's been other companies where I've joined at a much larger scale, even several hundred, close to 1,000 employees, and how do you find alignment on a large scale like that? So what would my advice be to a leader going into that situation? So we'll set the stage, whether it's you're going into a team of 20 or you're going into a team of 200, whatever the case may be, but you're moving new into that new position or new business. What do you do, right? So the first thing, I mean, there's some simple, you go for the low hanging fruit, right? Almost every company at a certain level of scale is going to have a mission statement and is going to have some kind of business directive and stuff. So you want to start finding a couple things, and that's alignment for the environment that you're in, the community, the organization, because what that is really a vehicle. And if you don't have alignment with the vehicle as you move forward, you're going to fall out of the vehicle, or you're going to find yourself at opposition with the vehicle. So even if the company um, has an alignment, maybe their exact mission, core values isn't exactly where you want to head in your life, but like where can you find alignment in their core mission? Is it a commitment to quality? Is it employing the right people or the best people? Or what about that company's mission statement lights you up? Where can you find alignment in that? Because as a leader in that company, you're going to need the alignment and support of the company and the resources to help you. Because as you start to do this next part, which is going to make your team amazing, you're going to have success, and you're going to find that you'll have maybe other peer teams that don't like the success that you're having and challenges and stuff. And there might be times where you have to really stand up and say, hey, look, we really want to do the right thing here. And you want to be able to be sure that you always know how to do that in alignment with the company, because otherwise you will create division, and we're not here to create division. We're here to create indivision, right? So if you're blessed to have a vehicle where you can be a leader and you have the opportunity to impact and change the lives of people that would be considered your employees, or your team, finding alignment in that vehicle is good. That's kind of like wearing your seatbelts if you're going to go in a Jeep on a jungle safari up a mountain road or down a mountain road. If you're not aligned to that vehicle and they turn a corner quick, you might be what flies out the door. So first step, find that overlap where you can have alignment with the company that you work for. And then the next step, and this comes to your employees, right, is finding alignment with your employees. So they've accepted jobs, you're coming into this new team, right? Understand that they may have had alignment with whoever was in that spot before you, right? It's you want to be respectful to that. You don't want to try to go find out why you're the better selection than the person that came before you, because there may have been people that love that person. They may have loved that person because they found their own core of alignment. So one, be respectful to whatever happened before you. Be respectful to all these employees that even if they're having, hard or difficult performance or whatever the case may be, if you're there to fix a problem or make things better, doesn't necessarily mean the employees are bad. You don't know what happened before you got there. Be respectful for that and realize that what you're doing is helping this group of individuals find alignment to their highest potential and to utilize the vehicle of employment that they have to create a co-alignment, a benefit for the business because the employees will find alignment with it, and a benefit for the employees because they will find alignment in their life. That's why it's important to understand what it is that you're connected to and how to have alignment to the vehicle. So the second step, be respectful for what you're stepping into and what you don't know. Be curious, ask a lot of questions. I love to just go walk around and talk to employees. I maybe it was a bit sneaky, but in one of the more recent jobs I had, I didn't really make a big deal about who I was or my role, but I would walk in and I would talk to people that were out on the test floor doing work. And I remember walking and talking with someone, and I was like, "Oh, what team do you work on?" And they were telling me, and then they're like, "What do you work?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is my role." And I realized that person had no idea who I was. So for a few moments, leading up to that, I got to experience just a good casual conversation between two coworkers because to me, that it didn't matter what my role was. That's what my relationship was to my employees was just coworkers, right? I got a job, you got a job. We're all trying to reach our highest potential. We're going to find alignment to do that, and we're going to use the convenience of this corporate vehicle that we have to move in that direction as much as we can. That's related. It's about going out there and connecting with people and hearing the conversations. What motivates them? What makes them happy? Look, they want more money. Okay, cool. There's something. The company. I guarantee you, the business you're working for wants more money. So you got people that want more money, and a company that wants more money. Bam. Create some value. There's alignment, right? You want people who want to promote and do more in their career. Your company wants to grow and wants to scale. So, like, bam, you have alignment there. You know what I mean? You have people who are hard workers. They really want to do a great job. They want to deliver something that's wonderful. Your company wants to deliver great products that are valuable. Bam, alignment there. So, like, there's really easy ways to find alignment. And in doing this, there will be some people that don't like it because when you start lining your team up to reach their highest potential and enabling them to be successful, there will be people who do not really want that level of success. And they will start to feel out of alignment. And sometimes you'll have some people who just say, look, I don't want to be awesome. I don't want to be super successful. And so peace out. I'm going to go find somewhere else to go. And that's great because they're going on to find their alignment to do what they want. And if you don't want to hold people in, right? And this is an important part about alignment. You can't force alignment on anybody. You put it out there. This is where we're going. This is what we're doing. And if someone can't line up with that, if they don't want to align to it, right? They have to be free to go to find where they align, because wherever they align is where they'll reach their highest potential and everybody can have the greatest success. So did I answer that question for you, Shane? Or good enough?
No, I love that. Finding the common denominators, getting everybody's buy-in, in a weird way, as a leader in my leadership positions and kind of the way that you were with us, it's almost like when I was a leader, I worked for my team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And one way in the hierarchy, I was their boss, but in other ways, I worked for them,
Yeah.
And so finding the common denominators and then getting the symbiotic benefit of getting the best out of your team to get the best out of the company. It's really the only way to go. And it's something that I really believe that like modern corporate culture has, it's something that that's this. It's like a spirit that's been lost in the process.
Well, it reminds me that the prisoner guard study, I'm sure you've heard of, they take a group of, all similar college kids and they put some of them in the role of prisoner, some in the role of guard. And these kind of natural hierarchies start to evolve where the guard people are doing, terrible things to the prisoners and vice versa. It's more subtle, but that happens in the corporate environment where we separate managers and employees. We separate, because they're managers, we call them leaders, and then individual contributors, we call them employees. And as you go through the tiers of middle management, these divides become worse and worse and worse because everybody's trying to identify who and what they are. I remember being on a call and someone going, and I've even used this line before I really understood the damage it was doing, right? I'd be like, who's on your team to a group of managers? And they'd be like, oh, the people that report to me. And I'm like, well, it's also the people on the call with you, right? Which can be good because the people on the call with you, they are your team. But the real answer is they're both your team, right? The people on the call as managers, they're your team. The people who are your employees, they're your team. You're on their teams too. There's only one team. You just have different roles and responsibilities in it. And when you flatten it out in your mind, I don't care what your reporting structure is, but flatten it out in your mind. I don't care if you just your first day here or you've been here 20 years. We're on the same team now, right? We're part of this thing together. I think that you get you're gonna get better results. You're gonna find that alignment. And you're gonna be able to build uh, more successful relationships that enable not just you to be successful, but enable the people around you to be successful. And as you and I have talked before, when you promote and you lift up and you raise other people, you get promoted too. There's always a bi-directional um, feedback system in that, right? When you're willing to give credit to someone else, when you're willing to call it out for give props where props is due, it will come back to you in good ways. I feel like most of the career success and promotion and growth I had came from my team promoting me the same way I was promoting my team.
Likewise, yeah, it's the most optimal way to it perpetuates prosperity and opportunity for every single person involved. And like, I mean, to me, I mean, the money obviously it's important to be able to pay our way into the amusement park of life, but to succeed in a way that collectively, symbiotically, we earn our stripes together, and that reward I have found to be the most gratifying ever of my life to do the impossible, like Bad News Bear style, as you mentioned earlier. That it's just the reward, the challenge and the reward to me at this point is almost greater than the financial income, because that's there and it's going to be gotten, um,
It, it's a beautiful thing when you get to the point where the success you're having is more important than the money you're making, right? I
right.
love it. Yeah, it's beautiful. Man, so we're coming up on time and I would love for you to close us out with a poem. So next week, just so everybody knows, we're going to probably move on from alignment. And I believe what we wanted to do is maybe touching more into creative leadership. If people are interested in hearing about that, please leave comments in the YouTube link below or send us a note as you have been doing. What do you guys want to hear more about? What can we do? How can we serve you and make it better for you? And with that, uh, take us away, Shane. Sign us off, brother.
Just a little, here we go. The Positive Vibe Tribe. The hood hippie is just a guy that's all love and bigger than life. A wild superpower flower child, communicating with the other side, representing the Positive Vibe Tribe. A cosmic clan of lovers united, sewing the rips up and what's divided. We use the force, are aligning, shining, authentic, holistic, and physics defying, illuminated by the highest high, co-creating, co-creating as designed, of the light so magnified, and never afraid to take it outside.
Beautiful, man. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate that. I love it.
Little context. Yep.
Yep. Awesome, man. All right. Yeah. Do you have anything else you wanted to add in on that? You said a little content. Oh no. Okay. I got you. All right. Have a great afternoon, morning, night, wherever you are, whenever you're listening to this, and we'll catch you next time on Crack the Code.
Thanks, y'all. Love you guys.
Gonna find your path, gonna lead the way, stride through the storm, never go astray. Always the truth and let your spirit roar. You're a force of nature, crash upon the shore.